Hello, my name is Conrad Freuling. I'm a veterinarian and I work for the Friedrich Loeffler Institute, the Federal Research Institute for Animal Health. We act as a national reference laboratory for rabies, but we are also committed to the WHO as a collaborating center, to WOAH as a reference laboratory, and also as a reference center for rabies for the FAO. Today I'm going to talk about our experience with oral rabies vaccination. For the past 5 years we've been using oral rabies vaccines in Namibia, and I'm going to show you in the next couple of slides our experiences in an African setting in Namibia. In a first step, together with the University of Namibia, we demonstrated that dogs given the oral bait would seroconvert in a similar manner as would parenterally vaccinated dogs. In our field settings, 78% of dogs offered a bait seroconverted, and 83% of those dogs that did not consume the bait but were given the vaccine directly orally also seroconverted. We then did a field trial and demonstrated the use of these baits in local dogs, and to show the practicability and also the acceptance of these baits for the community and for the dogs and for the veterinary services. In this first field trial, we could demonstrate that 3/4 of all dogs that were offered a bait would be considered vaccinated, plus an additional number of dogs where we were not able to see the dog disappeared with the bait, and so they had the status of unknown. And only a few dogs were considered as not being vaccinated. Because staff members were not vaccinated, they could not parenterally vaccinate dogs in the Zambezi region. And there were human rabies cases as well as animal rabies cases. So we used ORV as an emergency vaccination in this region, in the Zambezi region, a region to the far northeast of the country, to vaccinate dogs. We used GIS to first guide the teams towards places where there are more dogs available, and we also calculated the vaccination coverage post-vaccination using high-resolution satellite images. Whenever we vaccinated dogs, we made use of mobile phone technology. We used the Mission Rabies app for planning of the campaigns and also for evaluating the data. This field trial in 2022 revealed that, especially in rural settings, almost all dogs accepted the bait and were considered vaccinated. It was a little less in urban areas, but still a very high percentage of dogs would be considered vaccinated. Here you can see how easy it is. We sometimes only threw the baits from the window of the car, and to the left you see the number of baits per team per hour, and we had in urban areas 25 dogs per team per hour. In rural areas it was 22 dogs per team and hour. Based on our settings, we estimated that oral rabies vaccination is even more efficient because you have a lot more dogs that you vaccinate. Only if you have less than 50 dogs per team per day to be vaccinated, then parenteral vaccination is more efficient. In 2024, we started an upscaling in the same region, again in the Zambezi region. This time we had 10,000 baits available, and we chose 10 teams with 2 persons each, 1 driver or a data collector and a vaccinator. We had pickups trucks. We sometimes had to use a ferry, and we spent 4 up to 5 days. You see, storage was at our facility. It was a small hotel, and then we organize everything for the teams, including these small cooling bags. Here you see the results of this campaign in comparison to previous campaigns. So in 2024, we vaccinated 25 dogs per team per hour on average, as opposed to 22 in 2022. So in essence, upscaling did not reduce the efficiency of the campaign. And to the right, Oshana 2017 and NCA 2024, that's mass dog vaccination using parenteral vaccines. So you see the difference, 25.5 as opposed to 7.4 across the whole northern communal areas. That's the difference in the efficiency of ORV versus parenteral vaccination. We also compared our results to other published studies on parenteral mass dog vaccination, and it was significantly more effective, the dogs vaccinated per team and day, than anything that had been published before in Africa, but also in other parts of the world. The results have been published and is open access, and it's free to be downloaded by you. So when it comes to the integration into the standard mass dog vaccination campaign, during a stakeholder meeting in 2024, the participants agreed that oral rabies vaccination should become an integral part of the control strategies, and the decision was made that all regions should contribute or should participate in ORV, but with a limited number, that prioritization should be given to those dogs that are non-accessible to parenteral vaccination. In response to the international awareness and need for education, we did an international workshop on oral rabies vaccination in Windhoek in November 2025. We had more than 40 participants. It was organized jointly by FAO, WOAH, and several NGOs, including Global Alliance for Rabies Control, took part in it. It was a 2-day workshop. First was about theoretical background, and then we had practical application in some of the informal settlements within Windhoek. So what you can see here is a digital map of one of the assigned study areas. For one team, we could estimate the number of dogs vaccinated within that region, the track that they used, and also the coverage in the area. So what you can see here is that within that time frame of 2 hours and 45 minutes, 27 dogs per hour were vaccinated. So in total, we vaccinated 104 dogs. And if you calculate that, then there is a total of 157 dogs within that zone, and the vaccination coverage is 64%. So by using digital technology and mobile phone apps, that allows you to have a very precise estimation of your vaccination coverage and also of your area to be covered. So what are the plans for 2026 in terms of oral rabies vaccination in Namibia? We still have operational research to be done. There's analyzing the effectiveness of costs in urban areas by using either baiting via car or just walking through these informal settlements. And in rural areas, we didn't make a direct comparison of ORV only versus parenteral and ORV in terms of effectiveness, but also in terms of costs. There's also a special region, the Kunene region, where we have a very mobile community of Himba people. They are pastoralists and they move with their cattle towards different posts. And here is a challenge to parenterally vaccinate their dogs. So we will try different avenues of providing them with oral baits for their dogs. So I start to have some challenges. I will not say pros and cons and say that it speaks against or rabies vaccination, but these are some challenges. So we had sometimes delayed import permits for the vaccine. We had COVID-19, malaria in some of the study areas. We had drought. We had FMD that put rabies vaccination down on the priority list, but we also had challenges in terms of the production capacity from the manufacturer. Shelf life, you know, you have a certain limit of your import permit and a certain shelf life of your product. Sometimes our study areas were affected by flooding that also postponed some of the activities. We had an issue with cold storage once. There was a break of a freezer, of a central freezer, and we were not informed properly before. So one of the one shipment of baits was lost. There was, you know, they were rotten. And once we had an issue with the bait material, but that is solved. There was an issue with the quality of the bait matrix. So these are all some, I will not call them cons, it's challenges, but that needs to improve, and that has improved over time. But here we come to pro. So we always had support by the CVO and the ministry. We had very great support from Swavet, the importer of the vaccine into the country. There was no issue whatsoever in short-term storage. So you can use your car, and inside the car it doesn't get too hot, and small cooling bags were sufficient to store the baits. Also, we made use of the storing capacities at our lodge, so that reduced costs quite a lot. It was an exceptional acceptance by veterinary authorities, dog owners, and dogs, so that people loved it. It was fun to use and very easy. And what we also have, it's an immediate data access. So what we also said is you can start immediately with your vaccinations. There's not a lot of preparation being done. One of the first introductory workshops that we held was only 2 hours of information. Then villages were informed via radio announcement, and then we went into the field and vaccinated dogs. That's as easy as it can be. Yeah, with this last slide, I would like to thank you for your attention, and I would like to acknowledge a lot of people from Namibian Department of Veterinary Services, Dr. Shombe as a CVO, and Dr. Shilongo as a former CVO, and also many other people from the DVS, SIVA for providing baits and expertise, Mission Rabies for letting us use their mobile phone app, World Health Organization, especially Tenzin, for being a project coordinator for rabies control in Namibia. And also we would like to thank our German ministry, it's the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Regional Identity, that is funding us directly, and the Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development that's funding the whole rabies control project in Namibia. And with this, I'd like to thank you and wish you a pleasant workshop.